CAAS has been a huge part of Somerville for decades now, doing very good work, sometimes very quietly and behind the scenes, to help poor people, to help tenants, and all kinds of housing needs, certainly to run Head Start programs, which are the envy of other communities. CAAS has been a consistent presence, standing up for people in Somerville who need help. I'm delighted to be here. There's a great crowd. I'm glad that folks in Somerville are going to maybe get to learn about CAAS for the first time, or if they knew about CAAS and CAAS had kind of slid off their screen, they'll be reminded, oh yeah, CAAS is here in the community doing great work.
I do want to say a couple of words and ask a couple of folks to come up here and share some thoughts with you. Before we begin, I should probably say I'm David Gibbs. I'm the new Executive Director at CAAS. Yay. I get to say new for a few months longer. Somebody asked me a few minutes ago how long I get to be the new guy, and I'm not sure, but I know it's a little while longer, so I'll be the new guy for a while yet. I want to thank a couple of folks for being here. Representatives Denise Provo and Christine Barber are with us. Thank you very much for taking time to come here. Alderman Bill White and Mark Niedergang are also with us. Thank you very much for coming tonight. And Pat Jalen just arrived. Wonderful. Thank you, Pat. She'll be coming through the door any moment. There are a lot of folks here from CAAS, and I would like, please, for all of the CAAS employees to raise their hands and wave them enthusiastically. I'm going to ask Denise Provo to come up and say a couple of words to us. Denise, there you are. Please step right up. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Denise Provo. I'm the state representative for a bunch of the neighborhoods in the middle of Somerville. And I see so many familiar faces here. It's great. And I'm honored to be here. David thanked me for coming, and I said, if I don't have time to come here for CAAS, I'm not really representing the city of Somerville. So I'm here because CAAS has been an important part of the city as I've grown to know it. All of my decades of working for Somerville, CAAS has been a part of that, and it's been an important part. You know, back in the day, and I see some old friends here who are nodding, and you know, back when Paul Duhamel was an active member of this community, back when CAAS was there on the front lines of anti-poverty work. And a lot of us in this room, I think, come from that era when we remember that. You know, how we were gonna remake history. Yes, Anna. Yes, ma'am. You know, we were gonna go finish the unfinished work of Reconstruction, and we were going to have civil rights for everyone, and we were gonna get rid of poverty in this nation. Yeah, how about that? That's a dream. And a lot of us worked at that, and you know, we saw CAAS doing great things, advocating for tenants and for housing, and with their Head Start program, and doing some quiet work for immigrants in the community, all kinds of good things. And yet, years later, after, you know, a few good doses of Reaganomics and neoliberalism, what do we have? We have a bigger divide between the rich and the poor, especially in Massachusetts and in the Boston area. And that's why I'm so glad that CAAS is here with new leadership and great vision and energy to leap into that big area of need and bring people together and eliminate some of those disparities. So thank you, CAAS.
Thank you. Bill, would you come up and say a few words to us? Alderman Bill White.
Good evening, everyone. When I look back in the history of CAAS, it's my understanding they're about 33 years old, so I have 1 minute of my speech for each of the years, so I'm going to go about a half an hour, so if you want a drink or something, but...
Come on.
but seriously, it's an honor and a pleasure for me to be here, because in my 18 years on the board and also being a member of the Somerville community, I've had an opportunity to work with a lot of folks who have been affiliated with CAAS, and can appreciate the hard work that they've done, and also lobbying on very many important issues before the Board of Aldermen. And this meshes into what Denise Provost said. And I was reading the internet today, and a fascinating story came out. The rich have never been richer. U.S. household assets hit $99 trillion. And when you look and see how this is distributed, you really see that for a lot of folks, even the trickle-down effect does not work. There was a $1.1 trillion increase in the value of financial assets, which is essentially the stock market. And if you look at statistics now, the average person does not benefit by that at all. And now it's becoming popular to moan and groan about inequality and wealth, you know, the poor distribution of income and how folks haven't made progress in many years. So they'll be moaning and groaning and gnashing of teeth, but it'll be interesting to see where there's going to be action. I've seen action because of folks like CAAS and community activists for many, many years as the distribution of income got worse and as wages started to decline. It's through the hard work of folks who participate in community activities like CAAS that those folks, you know, are hard pressed by the economy, you know, are able to get help and are able to benefit. So, you know, you folks have put sort of your money where your mouth is by your hard work, and like Representative Provo, I appreciate it, and I think now more than ever, not only this city, but our country needs folks like you to keep up the good work. Thank you.
I'm going to ask a couple of CAAS's employees to come up and talk about some of the programmatic work that they do. But before I do that, continuing the spirit of raising hands and waving, a lot of what CAAS does is done in collaboration with other nonprofits and agencies in the city. And so I would like to ask if you work for one of the nonprofits or city agencies that we collaborate with, and you know who you are, the folks from SCC and the Welcome Project and the Cambridge Health Alliance, raise your hands. And Regina, wave at us. There we go. Okay. Thank you all. We couldn't do this without a lot of collaboration with other agencies, so we're delighted that you're here. Maureen, would you? Yeah. Maureen Villa is going to come up and speak to us a little bit about the Head Start program. Maureen.
Hi, everyone. I think there's so much to talk about when it comes to the Head Start program and all the things that happen. And I'm going to focus tonight on how we help our families understand child development, how we prepare them for career paths versus all the other things that we do with our families. So I want to begin tonight with a story from a parent that shared this, and it says, "My young son is in Head Start. The teachers at Head Start invite all of the parents to observe the children in classes. They tell us to listen to what we hear. They ask us to consult with them and ask questions when we are not sure what we see. Next, the teachers encourage us to imitate them and help teach the children too. We practice helping a child with an activity, and we experiment with how we teach. Finally, the teachers help us evaluate what happened. Did the child learn? How did he learn? What did he learn? And what did I notice? What a different way to experiment when I'm teaching. I enjoyed my experience working with my child's teachers. I observed many ways that children learn, and I listened more because I had the time and the opportunity. I consulted with teachers who have a lot of experience. As a result, I can volunteer in my child's classroom. If I practice and learn, maybe I can be a substitute teacher. It is a good opportunity for me to learn, and I can also help my child at home. And that is really our goal, is to help our families understand child development, how they can be better parents, and that they can help their child be ready for kindergarten and be ready to be lifelong learners. And so what we do is that we offer our families every fall a 5-week course in parent volunteering, and it includes child development, and it's connected to our school readiness goals from Head Start. And parents go out and they start to learn to volunteer, and they take their knowledge with them. This parent that I just read this letter from last month, I just gave a reference to her. She's been hired, and she's the 3rd one this year that has come from our program, and we're really, really proud of her. She said that she never understood how much fun and how important early childhood learning is. And then to top it all off, I went over our numbers, and right now we have 15 active sub-teachers in our program, parents or past parents, and more than 30 of our staff who started as parent volunteers. And now we have 2 Head Start children who are new lead teachers. So it does go on, and it is contagious, and we really work hard at that. So that's it. You're very welcome.
Ray Axner, would you come up? And Ray is going to speak to us about our homelessness prevention program. Thank you, Ray.
Hello, my name is Ray Axner. I'm a housing advocate at the homelessness prevention program here at CAAS. And I've been with CAAS just over 6 months now, which is a very short amount of time in comparison to some of our staff members. But I've lived in Somerville for my whole life, so maybe that makes up for it a little bit. I loved growing up in Somerville, and I've benefited so much from the incredible diversity in this little city, and I'm very fortunate that I can still live in Somerville. But what we see every day at HPP, and what I'm sure all of you see in your lives and in your work, is that we have a housing crisis in this city. And it affects all of us, but it affects most acutely the lowest income people in our city. It affects, among those people, even more so residents who are immigrants, who are non-English speakers, who are people of color. And all of those people are those that we work with at HPP the most. And we see that those individuals and families in the lowest income brackets are being evicted so that landlords can raise their rents. They're being forced to live in bad conditions because that's what they can afford in this city. And they're finding it impossible to find somewhere else to live in Somerville. And at HPP, we advocate for those tenants that are in the most vulnerable positions, and we try to keep them in their Somerville homes if at all possible. And if not, we try to get them as much time as we can to find somewhere else safe to live. And the bread and butter of our program is that we have an eviction prevention clinic each week. We help tenants with eviction cases fill out pro se legal forms that they can submit to court and help represent themselves in court. And we prepare them for court and educate them about their rights. So we're able to do this because we get from court each week the summonses for eviction cases, and we're the only organization in Somerville that is reaching out specifically to court-involved tenants, and we're offering these services to help them represent themselves when legal services are often unavailable and overwhelmed. And in addition to that legal work, or not legal work, but the court work that we do, our eviction prevention services include negotiating with landlords at times, applying for rental assistance funding from our lovely partner organizations who are here tonight, and as well as more generalized stabilizing efforts like maximizing income through budgeting and public benefits, and making sure that our clients have full access to city departments like the Board of Health. And the other big piece of our programming is searching for housing when people aren't in homes that they can stay in. And we help them apply for subsidized and other affordable housing options. And sometimes we help search for market rate apartments. But if you've ever looked for an apartment in Somerville, you might know that that's a very time-consuming and difficult task. So I'd like to wrap up by just announcing that at HPP we're going to be starting a new program in a couple of weeks, a housing search clinic that will be in the evenings, and we'll be targeting our community members that aren't necessarily yet in such emergency situations that would usually trigger our involvement with them, but are looking for a more stable and more affordable home in the city and in the surrounding areas. And so we're really excited about this, and I think it's just one example of how, as HPP grows, we're hoping to keep moving our prevention work further upstream and keep people in their homes in Somerville and keep our valuable community members here as much as we can. So, thank you.
Okay. Justin Hildebrand is the chair of our board of directors, and I would like Justin to say a word or two.
So I would suspect that many of you, like me, love living, working, playing in Somerville. Is that right? Yes, okay. And so for me, one of the reasons why I'm committed to living in this community, one of the reasons why I love this community is because of the diversity that cuts across every single way that you could slice and dice people up. And so it's this beautiful picture of all different sorts of people. Part of our commitment to that diversity is to be able to help people that need a little bit of help, have different resources perhaps. Some of us have financial resources and others have resources that are all different sorts of ways. But CAAS, the reason why I am so committed to CAAS is because CAAS helps those in our community who need a little bit of help. We do that in so many different ways, but I love to see the shining faces on our Head Start school, our Head Start children. I love to hear the stories of people who were able to stay in their homes, who were on the brink of eviction, but we were able to help them, and not just help them this month, but help them go into a sustainable situation. It's important to me that our community retains this diversity, and it's increasingly harder and harder and harder for people to stay here. I came on the board, I won't say too much about it. I came on the board at a very difficult time for CAAS. We had been such a wonderful organization doing wonderful work, and then there was a bit of a blip. As I came on and as I dug in, I learned how wonderful and respected our programs are. That our Head Start program is one of the most respected in the state and perhaps even the country. That we're really transforming lives of children, and we've been doing it for quite some time. That our homelessness prevention project is really doing effective work, meeting people where they are and helping them stay in their homes. That's why I continued on the board. That's why I did the hard work along with all of my colleagues. Who raise your hands again, those who have been on the board for CAAS. To be honest, there were moments when we weren't sure that we would be here to celebrate today. but we were all so committed to this organization because of the amazingly powerful work that we do together. And so together, with our board members, with our amazing staff, with our community supporters, we were able to come to this point, to a point where we've hired an excellent executive director. I was actually talking to one of the other Cambridge politicians at a party who mentioned David because of his previous employer at the Cambridge Community Center. And I said, yep, we got him. CAAS's days are really great now, but CAAS's future is even brighter. The need for CAAS in our community has been immense, but the need for CAAS is going to be increasing year by year. So I thank you all for your support, and I thank you all for going into the community and talking about us and telling people the wonderful work that we do and continuing to support us.
We're nearly at the end. I'm going to say a word or two. Part of the reason for this party was to introduce me to you as the new executive director. And I have known some of you for a long time, and some of you for a very short amount of time, and some I've just met tonight. I'm delighted to be here doing this work. I've lived in Somerville for nearly, well, going on 23 years, I think. When did we move to Prospect Street? Lived on the Somerville-Cambridge line. My bedroom was in Somerville, so I can claim Somerville residence from that moment forward. The kitchen was in Cambridge. We paid taxes to both cities. Don't do it, okay? It's a bad idea. But I'm delighted to be here doing this work. There are a couple of people at CAAS that are newer than I am, and I want to thank them both for their hard work tonight. Lincoln Taggart is our new Director of Development. Kate Bamberg is our Development Associate. And I really want to give Kate props for this party because she's the one who really pulled this together and made it happen. Kate, thank you so much for this. Delighted to have you with us. People are not poor because there's anything wrong with them. People are not poor because they're uneducated or because they're somehow less than the rest of us. People are poor because they don't have any money. And they don't have any money because the policies of our government for the last 40 or 50 years have systematically kept them from having money. We need to change that. We need collectively to speak to our government, to the people in power, and say that this is wrong. And we need to say it in the clearest possible terms and as loudly as we possibly can. When I saw this mission statement, I loved the first part of it. Working with people one-on-one, day by day, helping them. Somebody I talked to today said, you know, I help people get out of homelessness one person at a time, and that's great, and we do that at CAAS. But it's that last bit, eliminating the societal conditions that cause and perpetuate poverty. That's what we're really about here. That's what all of us in this room are about, and it's the work that CAAS has been doing and will continue to do. And with your help, we will make it happen. Poverty does not have to exist. Poverty is not inevitable. It does not have to exist, and we will get rid of it. Call me a dreamer, but that's the way it is. Thank you all for coming today.
I'm Patty Contenti, and I'm here happily celebrating CAAS, and so happy to have them in the community, partner with them around a lot of their work, working with kids and families. They've been so open and cutting edge around looking at helping with coping skills and really open to integrating. My work in the community has to do with mental health, which not too many organizations are open to incorporating, and CAAS has been so wonderful in seeing the value of that. And getting to know the staff and David, we're just so lucky to have them and really appreciate all the work that they do. So congratulations, CAAS, on your 50th.
I'm Linda Cundiff. I'm a board member of CAAS, but I'm the Senior Director of Community Health Improvement for the Cambridge Health Alliance, and have worked with CAAS in my professional capacity as a colleague and as a community leader around health since 1977. And I have always loved the mission of the agency and the leadership and the vision. And in the last few years, when it was having a little bit of a dip, I said, I need to get on that board and try to turn it back to where it was, to really adjust poverty and to be a colleague around improving all of our social determinants of health. That CAAS was known for that. So I'm really proud to be on the board and to be here tonight to support the event.
We're having this celebration tonight because, wow, there's a lot of reasons why we're having this celebration tonight. Partly it's a celebration of the people that do the work at CAAS. We have an amazing staff, many of whom have worked at CAAS for 30 years or more, and who've been doing the hard work of poverty reduction that whole time. And we really wanted to say thank you to them. You'll notice that the staff aren't working tonight. I'm the only one who's on call. Everybody else is here to have a good time. We also just wanted to remind the city of Somerville that we're here, that we are working, that we are active, and that the need for CAAS's services remains unfortunately great, and we're here to continue to meet that need. Yeah.
Just very briefly, what are the main projects that CAAS does?
Sure. Right now there are two. They overlap a lot. One is Head Start. Head Start is a, yeah.
Start one more time and say, right now there are two main programs.
Sure. Right now there are two main programs. They overlap quite a bit. One of them is Head Start, which is a preschool program for 3- and 4-year-olds. And in addition to doing a great educational and social emotional development curriculum, Head Start works directly with the families of the kids to support them so that they're able to parent effectively, deal with whatever economic issues they may have. So it's a real wraparound kind of program. We also have our homelessness prevention program, which works with people that are in danger of losing their homes. We negotiate with landlords, we work with the housing court and the district court. We help them try to stay in their home because that's a lot cheaper and more effective than having them move out of their home and have to wind up in a shelter or a motel for heaven knows how long. It's a very important project as Somerville faces gentrification. We are seeing a rapid increase in the number of people who are needing that service. So.
I've lived in Somerville for 24 years, not all of which I spent working for CAAS, but some of which I spent working for CAAS. And the reason why I'm here tonight is because I love CAAS and I love what it does. And I was involved at CAAS trying to help fix a glitch when the glitch happened a few years ago. And we were concerned that the agency would not continue to exist, and I'm so very pleased to see that it's thriving, that it's growing, and that it has a bright future. So that's why I'm here to help celebrate that.
I celebrated because I started in the program like a volunteer. Thanks to my daughter, because when she started preschool, she's a little shy in the school, so I stay in the classroom, and the teachers encourage me to take courses in college, and then I started like a temporal teacher, and then they give me a permanent job. And I say thank you for all the staff, especially to Maureen Villa. She's the best person to encourage me to work in CAAS Head Start, and Alba Perez and Donna Cabral too. Thank you so much.